Good afternoon, and good morning, and good night also, because we know people from different time zone are joining with us, and throughout this last 3 days, you are with us, and we are really happy to have you on board. So today we have already completed few speeches, few keynote speeches on stress management. And in the very early morning, we started with the psycho-spiritual technique of managing stress. Then we had another important action research, which has been conducted by USEF Bangladesh. You all know USEF Bangladesh is a very large NGO in Bangladesh. So they presented their paper on workplace well-being management. And later on, we have another paper, which is a current practice that is happening in Epilian group. So they presented on performance improvement program. So it was all nice, and we had a lot of participants from around the world, and we had a very nice discussion, vibrant discussion on different issues. So right at this point, after lunch break, we are coming back, and today, at this point, we have a very nice presentation from one of my mentors in coaching, actually. So we have with us Vivek Yatnalkar, who is a PCC, that means Professional Certified Coach. So he is from ICF Certified Coach, actually, International Coaching Federation, and I am his direct student in this regard. So I'd like to request Vivek and our distinguished panelists here to welcome them. And I'd like to request Vivek to present his presentation on executive coaching and mentoring. So Vivek, the screen is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Salim. Thank you, organizers, for this warm invitation, and happy to meet all the panelists for this session. A warm greetings from India. My name is Vivek Yatnalkar, as Salim just said. And it's really heartwarming to share my understanding about executive coaching and mentoring for next 30 minutes or so with each one of you logging in from different parts of the world. Today's session is the high-level session, introduction session. And after my talk is over, feel free to ask questions depending on the time, how much time organizers have kept, right? So I'm just going to share my screen. Here it goes. And Salim, I hope you can see my screen.
Yeah, you are visible. Yeah? Your screen is okay, visible.
Thank you. So the friends, topic today I'm going to talk about is executive coaching and mentoring, right? So whatever is coming in next 30 minutes, I'm going to speak from the practitioner's view. And I fully know, since whatever small I know, Salim and a lot of panelists here, they come from a very, very high level of education background, very well learned, and might be compared to that, I'm not that high in education field. But I think what I'm bringing to the table is my experience of working in the corporate world, training and teaching coaches, and also working with mentors and teaching them how to do mentorship. Yeah. So whatever you see has been implemented in industry. While I work with a lot of global clients and a lot of big companies in India as well. Right. So why executive coaching and mentoring? So the gamut or the topic all starts with the whole purview of people development. Yeah. Had it been a classroom, I would have loved some inputs on, what is your understanding of people development? But as I talk to different executives and understand their view about people development, I get different answers, right? So they say, Vivek, people development is, developing people so that they climb the corporate ladder. Another one is, creating a leadership pipeline so that the leaders are available at different times for their organization. And one image which comes to my mind for people development is this. Yeah. So if you look at this image, and variety of things really come clear. One is that at the center, that small plant just taking birth, then that the soil, and two pair of hands, right? And what is the one thing we can't see is the seed from which that sapling actually is growing up. Yeah. So to me, people development, friends, is really that seed which denotes a potential each one of us has. Yeah. Soil determines the culture or surrounding, and then two set of hands. One is of that person who's being developed, and second, the set of, you can call them coach, teacher, mentor, who all are there, who are working with that person to actually develop that potential. Yeah. So in one line, people development is actually developing the potential in that person. And as if you look at the seed, let's say you look at a mango seed, right? No one cannot guess how big that mango tree would be and how many mangoes that tree would have. In my view, I think the same goes for when you're working on a person, when you're developing his or her potential, you really do not know how much that person can achieve. Like if we all go back in the past when we were in like junior KG and kindergarten and first standard, nobody would have guessed all of us would be at such a high position and making such huge impact on the world. Yeah, that's what people development means to me. Also, when I talk to industry people and work with a lot of HR leaders across industry, and when we ask them, hey, what are the variety of techniques you are using for people development in industry today? This is the list, commonly used list, which kind of like people talk about. And I'm just going to go one by one. I'm going to use my drawing tool here. Yeah. So the classic one used is really the training. Yeah, the classroom training is happening. A lot of trainer facilitators available. There's one more which is used for people development is teaching. I'm not really going to talk much about teaching here, but commonality between, or let me start with a brief of teaching. When you go to school, the teacher is deciding the content for the student. Yeah, A for apple, B for boy, C for cat. you know so the inherent understanding is teacher knows more than the student. Yeah. In training, I have not used the word facilitation on the screen as well here. um, the facilitator or the trainer is actually creating the content and imparting the knowledge to the student or the participant. In some cases, for example, skill building workshops, right? The communication skills, the presentation skill, the conflict management, negotiation skills, email etiquette, English communication, whatever. The teacher takes the higher position saying, I know it more. And the teacher actually is imparting the knowledge. Yeah, that's one of the commonly used tool in industry for people development. The second tool, and lot many times people are called upon in industry to work with people, is consulting. And these are the consultants who kind of like know the I just want to use the word stuff, right? The answers. So they are like business consultants, there are strategy consultants, there are organizational development consultants. In some places there are like marriage consultants and life consultants and health consultants. So these people, the consultants, are supposed to know. Yeah, and the predominant style they use is telling. Yeah, all the problem is told to them and they tell the answer. That's where the consulting come in. I'm going to skip number 3 and number 4 since I'm going to talk about that today, mentoring and coaching. And comes number 5, which is counseling. I think I had a good chat with Salim during our coaching course. So counseling deals with past issues, the traumas which might have happened in your childhood, but basically they go in your past. Yeah. And they try to dig in. Again, they use different tools, could be NLP, could be psychotherapy, or could be variety of tools, but try to work with people to solve those the issues which are in the past. Now, the question remains, what is this place for both mentoring and coaching? Right? And let me tell you a brief and then we'll jump into coaching first and then into mentoring. I was talking to this one of the leader and I was invited as a coach and we said, hey, well, what's happening there? And he was a vice president of manufacturing in one of the company. And whenever they used to get negative feedback from the customer about product quality, this gentleman used to lose his cool. He used to lose his emotional intelligence. And when we asked him, hey, Mr. So and so, what's happening? Why are you losing your cool? And he said, Vivek, I don't know. I really don't know what's happening in me. But every time a negative feedback comes from customer, something happens to me. And I really don't know what happens to me. Another example, I was invited to coach one of the vice president of sales in one of the logistics company. And we were having a conversation. He says, Vivek, I've been doing this for last 15, 20 years. But whenever it comes to negotiation, whenever I need to negotiate contracts with people, I seem to be inclining more towards what customer is saying. And the feedback I'm getting from my company is most of the contracts, we are making losses. And I really don't know why I take customer sides more and not think of my company side. And friends, these all are unknowns wherein I don't know. Yeah. As a coach, or whenever you're playing a role of a coach, you really explore the unknown, right? And I'm going to talk about that, what that unknown is all about. But this is where, whenever you're invited to explore that unknown, you would use coaching. Mentor, comparatively easy. We do that in our personal life as well. I call it guide on the side. Yeah. Let's say you're a CEO of the company, a junior engineer joins and saying, Mr. So and so, you're a CEO. Would you be willing to guide me? I would like to be CEO like you in next 20 years. And you say, yes, buddy. I would talk to you. I would coach you. I would mentor you, and I'll make. I'll guide you. I'll be guide on your side. Yeah. So friends, I see a couple of hands coming in the air, but I think we're going to take Q&A at the end. So please hold on to your question. I'm available after the session is over to respond to all your questions. Right. So friends, that's the high level view of training. The content is decided by the teacher. Consulting, you tell the answer. Counseling, you deal with past issues. And mentoring, you be the guide on the side. It's slightly informal relationship. I'm going to talk about it today as well. And coaching, when you explore the unknown. Yeah, that's like a high level kind of like view about all these 5 professions. Mind you, these are my definitions, what sit with me. If you go along and read the different books, you may get different descriptions online. Yeah, so these are like Vivek's descriptions, if you like. Let's move on. Let me clear all drawing on the screen. I also kind of like establish linkage between these 3 professions. Yeah, the one is mentoring. It's like I call it kind of like high umbrella term, the big term, which is guide on the side. Being a mentor also includes being a consultant. Yeah, in the role of a mentor, let me use my pointer here. In the role of a mentor, you at times tell some answers to your prodigy or mentee. Also, yeah, also you also use your coaching tool, which is exploring the unknown. So mentoring has combination of coaching and consulting built in mentoring. That's the umbrella diagram I want to share with you. Okay, some bit on coaching. So Vivek, where is this exploration coming there, right? So friends, imagine our personalities, our life are this, the pot, the clay, right? Now there is a concept of neuroplasticity. I understand a lot of people from academic background on the call, so you would know the word neuroplasticity. So the assumption is a brain is like a plastic soft material, which creates this new connections in neuron in our brain as we learn new things. So for example, you're attending today's session, you may be creating or establishing new wirings in your brain as Vivek is speaking, as Q&A happens. The hands on the side are denoting our circumstances, yeah, or whatever happened during upbringing. It could be our parents, what we learn from parents, from our teachers, the accidents we had, the books we read, the movies we watched, the travel experience we did, and whatnot. All these things which happen to us in our life are continuously shaping a personality. So a personality is actually resultant of that. Now, as personality being developed, I attempt to use a model called Iceberg Model. I'm going to make some drawings here. I also use an analogy of an iceberg to denote a personality. Whenever people are giving you feedback, they actually see the part of the iceberg which is visible. Yeah. So some people say, oh, he's a good human being. Oh, he's good to work with. He's soft spoken. He's aggressive. They see the top part of it. But there's a bottom part, which are our beliefs, values, thoughts, patterns. They all are hidden. I use the word called wiring. And there is a very interesting thing happens. I'm just going to give one small example of how wirings are built. Just imagine a small boy in a house. He's just going to school and he learns A for apple, B for boy. And once an uncle and auntie comes to his home and the parents are saying, son, please say A for apple, B for boy. And he recites it. The uncle and auntie gives him a chocolate. A wiring is created in his kid's mind. If you want a chocolate, say A for apple and a B for boy. Yeah, that's the wiring we create. In some part of the world, as he gets up, grows up and goes to the school, one day he doesn't do his homework, right? And the teacher shouts at him, there's a punishment he gets. So he creates a wiring. If you want to get the work done, you need to shout at people, you need to punish the people. Yeah. And I can go on and on. As we are growing, due to the society we are into, the films we watch, the books we read, we have too many wirings inside us. And if you realize all our horizontal behavior, which is this iceberg on the top you see, is the result of this wiring. Yeah. So in the coaching, when you're coaching, when you're working with the people, what we are focusing is really the bottom part, which is the hidden iceberg. Yeah. This is the part we are exploring. In the coach, we use the term called coach. In coaching, we use the term called coach and a client, coach or coachee at times. We and the client, we all both are focusing on this bottom part, which is hidden below. This is where the whole exploration piece is happening. Right? Let me move on. So some people have, kind of like very logical brain, and they have this clear wiring. Like if this happens, you do this. If this happens, you do this. Like a trigger and reaction type, right? But for some people, the wiring is complicated like this. Yeah. At sometimes they don't know what is the situation which has happened and how is that I should respond. They really don't know. And this is where a coach's help will be required. This cases as well, a coach help is warranted. They have to really check what kind of wiring is working for them, what kind of wiring is not working for them, right? I'm just going to use the analogy of a Johari window and going to share with you the variety of cases, or how the coaching works with different people. And I'm making an assumption we all know this model Johari window. The first part, which is say open self, which known to self and known to others. Some of the coaching questions we ask this person is really, hey, how would you like to see your future? Where do you want to go? I'm also sharing with you, friends, where to apply coaching in the corporate world, yeah, or in career coaching. Hey, where do you want to go? How does your future look like? Where do you want to invest your time? And so on and so forth. The blind self, which is not known to self but known to others, this person may be getting the feedback about his behavior. You can ask some of the questions. Hey, why do you think you're getting this feedback? When you behave this way, what do you really get? What impact this behavior has on the other people, and so on and so forth. The hidden self, it is known to self but not known to others. You can ask a similar question saying, hey, you have been keeping few things with yourself and outside world doesn't know what benefit you are getting, or what impact it may have on other people. That's the exploration. And the very, very important part, which is not known to others and not known to self, this could be the hidden potential. Yeah, a lot of work of coaching happens in this area, and people don't know and you don't know as well. Yeah. And I'm just giving you an example. Using a tool like Johari window, we can explore all parts of human personality. The end result, as ICF says, is coaching should result into enhancing personal and professional potential. Yeah. It is not a problem fixing exercise. Yeah. So the bottom line is really coaching is all about raising the level of awareness in the minds of client about who he is, what are his priorities, what are the few things coming in the way, what are his strengths, what is that he can do, and what next steps he can do. Yeah. The assumption is, the hypothesis is, if you raise the level of awareness, the client, the coachee will get clarity. What is important to him? What is that he needs to do? What is coming in the way? What are the few actions he or she can take? Yeah. So it's all about raising the level of awareness in the client's mind. Coaching is a spectrum. Yeah. It has a variety of parts. So while it can start, let me draw here. At the bottom, some of the coaching, it can go in telling and instructing and giving advice, but majority, it is recommended you keep coaching on the top part. Yeah, which is listening, reflecting, paraphrasing, summarizing, asking questions. In a classic coach training program, which Salim was referring to in the beginning, we actually work with our participants to coach them, to train them, to enhance their skills on this top part. Yeah. And if you see the combination of this part, the middle part, this is where you will see mentoring happening. Yeah. A bit of telling, a bit of making suggestions, and a bit of asking open-ended questions. So basically, there's the whole spectrum of coaching. The coaching has all these parts. Yeah. It is not lopsided on one side or other side. Yeah. So let's move on. One of the competency I just talked about, friends, is curious questions. Is being genuinely curious about. The example I told you about that the senior executive shouting at people when he or she was getting the negative feedback from the client, you're just asking curious question. Hey, what's happening? What happens to your emotional intelligence? How does this shouting help you get the work done from people? Why is this client feedback so critical for you? What is happiness for you? Which is asking curious questions, being really, really curious, clarifying all our assumptions. We are not being consultant there, right? Also, as we are asking questions, we are also genuinely listening with empathy. Attempt him to, attempt him to see his side, what may be happening from his side. Yeah. It's difficult. At times we think, hey, I know your world. It's difficult to predict their world. Yeah. Um, uh, some people may say, Vivek, I know his life, and we can have offline conversation. It's difficult to go and really understand 100% life from the other side, right? Like today, some people are from Philippines, Fiji, and today I'm in India, some from Bangladesh. If I say it's really cold here, now, how is it cold in Bangladesh? Do you really know how is it cold in India, the place I'm logging in today? Yeah. And what care I have to take from here. Yeah. So we can discuss and debate about it. But what we are saying is clarify all your assumptions, attempt to understand his side by using listening and empathy as the tool. As we come towards the end of the coaching segment, I'm just going to tell you what are the variety of applications one can do about executive coaching in the professional world. I'm making an assumption there are a few people from corporate world on the call, and this will be of your interest. Role transition, junior people getting promoted to senior role. Yeah, new responsibilities, individual contributor going to people manager. You can coach there. You can coach people. High potential programs. A lot of companies have leaders, and they identify 10 or 15 leaders saying, hey, these are my future leadership. You can do coaching there. Building leadership pipeline. Yeah, at level 1, level 2, level 3. We want to build a leadership pipeline so that leaders are available in that company. You can use executive coaching there. Change management. Culture is changing, focus is changing, geographies are changing, new values, new systems. Yeah, you can use coaching there. The focus got beyond emotional intelligence. Or individual development at any level in the organization, from a senior level to mid level to junior level. If you want that person to develop a couple of competencies, you can use executive coaching. Yeah? In industry, when you see coaching, you may hear different words. Somebody will say, I'm a happiness coach, I'm a life coach, I'm a business coach. They have kind of like created niche for themselves, and they are working in one particular area. The foundation of all that is really a pure coaching part of it, right? So that was on the bit on application of executive coaching. You can use coaching in NGO sector. You can use coaching in families. Coincidentally, me and my wife, we work with families. We use executive coaching for it. You can use with young people. Yeah. So all parts of life, you can use executive coaching. Yeah. You can use anywhere actually. Please remember, whenever you are using coaching, and I'm sharing the part from situational leadership, the skill will metrics, you need to flex your style. You need to flex your coaching style based on the skill and the will of the person to do a particular job. This is valid if you are working as an executive coach inside the organization. Yeah. So again, and I can talk more about it, but I just want to tell you, coaching will not work same way with everybody. It also depends on how much skill that person has in a job and how much willingness, yeah, he has to do that job. This is all for all those people who want to work as a coach, internal coach for their organizations. Okay, few bits on mentoring before I pause my session. Mentoring, as I said, friends, is guide on the side. Yeah, and specifically, I have taken a picture of this elder person. You can call it a father and a son. Mentoring, one of the requirement of a mentor is you should be there and done it. Yeah. For example, you want to have a mentor and you want to be rich, you want to be millionaire by 5 years. The mentor you're hiring should be multi-billionaire. Yeah. You can't be somebody else say, okay, son, let me teach you how to be multi-millionaire without being millionaire in the context of mentoring. As a coach, it is not mandatory, right? I, as a professional coach, if I'm coaching a CEO of, say, a chemical company, I was never a CEO of a chemical company. Yeah. Or I work in variety of sectors. Now, Vivek cannot work in variety of sectors at variety of positions. Yeah. So coaches have been trained to work with any person, any background. For mentor, preferably, you should be from the same field. Yeah. Again, big difference between mentoring and coaching. Mentoring is slightly long term. Yeah, coaching typically goes by session by session. We have a specific objectives of the session, and then coaching works. Mentoring is also slightly informal in the relationship. Coaching tends to be formal. You talk about learning objective, where you want to go, what do you want to achieve, and you work along with coach and a client, work along with that. Yeah, we also say coaching is the dance between coach and a coachee led by coaching. Yeah. Here, it is slightly informal between mentor and a prodigy, or a mentor and a mentee, if you like. Right? All right. Few things in mentoring which are required. Let me start from here. Motivation. As a mentor, at times you may motivate your prodigy. If things are not going well, if some success doesn't come in, it's okay to actually pump in and give motivation. In coaching, we don't do. Yeah. Mentors can give advice as well. You can share your personal stories. Yeah. We call, coffee table conversation. You can share with your prodigy, hey, you know what? This is what I did in my life. You may want to try it. Celebrating success. Yeah. All small successes during mentoring journey, you can do it. Direction. You can actually give direction to mentee saying, hey, why don't you try that? Why don't you do this? In coaching, we avoid that. Coaching also is a subset part of mentoring, which is curious question. If you see your mentee is not taking few actions, you may ask a curious question. Hey, you know what? Last two sessions you said you would take some action, but I don't see you taking it. May I know what's going on there? Yeah, you can ask a curious question. Offer support, psychological support, physical support. Hey, you know what? I'm there with you. Do that. If something happens, I'm there to guide you. Set goals along with mentee prodigy. In coaching, the client sets the goal. And if required in mentoring, you also offer some kind of small little bit training here and there. Yeah. So as you can see, mentoring has lot many bits than coaching, and it's slightly different. Please remember, so coaching, exploring the unknown, raising the level of awareness. Mentoring is guide on the side. Those are the two words I want to leave you with. Yeah, so that was pretty much end of what I had planned today. I think roughly coming on the clock of 30 minutes. So again, Salim and organizers, I just want to thank you for inviting me. And whenever we are ready for the Q&A segment, I can take it. People on the call, I know it was very fast forward and a very high level overview, but given the timeline, I think that's the best we could cover. Let me stop sharing my screen. And Salim, you could guide me. What are the next steps on this? Yeah. Thank you
Okay.
and wish you all the best, everybody.
Thank you, Vivek. And what I really admire from your side, the energy, man. The energy that you have, you engross everyone on the line. Thank you very much for your such a nice and prompt and very to the point presentation. So right at this moment, we will take some views regarding coaching and Bangladeshi practices here from our industry leaders. So we have our industry leaders in Bangladesh, few leaders have joined with us. So we will be listening from them. And after that, we will have our question and answer session. Is that okay with you, Vivek?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I'll
Okay.
wait. Yeah.
Okay. So right at this moment, I would like to request our distinguished guest, Mr. Rafiqul Islam. Sir, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah. We can hear you. So we would like to request you to say your views, your opinions regarding coaching and mentoring in Bangladesh. And of course, I know the questions has been sent to you. So if you would like to answer in this regard, thank you.
Thank you so much. Actually, I'm not a panelist. I'm actually a learner, apprentice, lifelong apprentice. I was watching and hearing and listening also the insightful words and speech from Mr. Vivek. So thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to share my ideas, actions, the way we apply coaching to our fellow colleagues. In fact, I am representing the government sector. In government sector, we don't apply or adopt that type of executive coaching or mentoring in a regular basis or structured format. But I will share my personal views, observations. It doesn't represent the whole public sector or industry experience. I work with training and development. At present I have been working as training director in Bangladesh Power Management Institute. It is the training institute of Ministry of Power, Energy and Mineral Resources. As you know that coaching is a type of conversation, as far as I know from the speaker distinguished. It's a type of conversation intended to develop an individual's or team's capacity to be more effective and perform better, I think. And also it can be delivered formally by internal or external coaches or leaders. But it is fact that informal coaching is a crucial part of building an effective coaching culture in any organization. Informal coaching. In public sector organization, there are no structured, as I said earlier, structured requirement to coach their employees. This is the this is not a part of job description. Even government employee, the government employees don't think that this is their responsibility to individual responsibility to develop a employee. We prefer formal training normally. We actually try to upskill or reskill our employees by either on-job training or off-the-job training. But nowadays we are actively thinking, our government sector thinking to introduce formally coaching to the line managers as the part of their job responsibilities. And it is also observed that few line managers or supervisors introduce coaching as a sporadic fashion instead of a regular practice. We are also thinking to introduce and popularize it by appointing external professional coach to develop internal coaches. In our organization, Bangladesh Power Management Institute, BPMI, is thinking so to appoint external coach for our power sector organizations, executive coaching and mentoring for upskill or reskill the employee performance. If we talk about mentoring, informal mentoring is more challenging to introduce at workplace mentoring because I think informal mentor is not paid to do so. That is why mentors are reluctant to do so. Why they will develop their employees? I am talking about government sector. Government sector. I think informal mentoring is not a burden. Is not a burden. It's just a matter of changing mindset. In our organizations, we apply informal mentoring by building a relationship with our colleagues where one gains insight, knowledge, wisdom, friendship, and support from others. But it is not a regular basis. It will occur only a sporadic manner. I think we should adopt the type of culture in public sector organization for better accomplishment of organizational long-term objectives. I would like to say once again, I am an apprentice, I am a learner. From this presentation, I am thinking to hire or to communicate with you people like Vivek and professional to appoint you in our power sector. I am thinking so uh, to develop our internal coach and a mentor by you professional. Thank you so much. I am not a expert. Once again, I beg you to apologize. I am the learner. I am a student and apprentice. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Rafiqul Islam, and thank you for this open-mindedness. Actually, this is really very much helpful to spread this knowledge, to spread this expertise. And so far as I know, Vivek is always very much open-minded regarding this support, extending his support. So surely, if you'd like, we can connect Vivek with you, and I hope he will agree to extend his support for us. Thank you, Rafiq Islam Bhai. So today we also have among us Mr. Mohsin Haq, who is leading the Coca-Cola company in Bangladesh. So I'd like to request Mr. Mohsin Haq to deliver his speech regarding this coaching and mentoring issues today. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Selim Hussain. Am I audible? Yeah, thank you. First of all, thank you very much for inviting me as a panelist of this session. I can talk about this our mentoring practices in Coca-Cola. First of all, this practice of mentorship is very much installed in the culture of Coca-Cola. This is seen as a very effective tool in our development of our future leaders and talents. Moreover, it helps in enhancing our employee retention and employee motivation in the ground. I know that Mr. Vivek Yatnalkar, he has taken us through the theoretical part of it. Sometimes, in the practical field, sometimes we use coaching and mentoring interchangeably, and sometimes, yeah, this formal and informal relationship and how we appoint the mentors, it varies from organization to organization and based on the practical requirements. But if we look at the philosophy of Coca-Cola, one of the 6 pillars of our life at Coke employee experience is to develop and develop people, develop self and others. So here mentorship can play a vital role in achieving our development goal. To be more precise, mentorship is used as a strategic tool in our organization rather than short-term solution. We use this tool for development of our leadership and professional in the organization. If we look at the how we can appoint the mentors, mostly we have our homegrown mentors who are appointed. Again, as Mr. Rafiqul Islam has said, we don't pay anything to the mentors for being a mentor to the juniors, but this is taken as a learning opportunity, and also the mentors can can be trainers and teachers, and they can show the leadership, which is actually beneficial for their career in the long run. So people are taking it positively so far, and we have been successful in this approach in our organization. We have a very well-defined mentorship program in place. The target group of this program can be seen in 3 categories. One is definitely the senior leaders of the organization who are leading or going to lead the organization in the short run. Then we have our mid-level managers who have the potential and the aspiration to move up to senior level in future. And we also target our future leaders who can be groomed up through continuous mentoring to take leadership position or senior professional position in the long run. If I elaborate the process, we have step-by-step approach to the mentorship programs. Firstly, the need of mentorship of an individual is assessed during the IDP discussion. When I say IDP, it's actually a development discussion between the manager and the individual employee. Secondly, we ensure that we have the top management commitment. Remember this, without the top management commitment, whatever we launch will not be successful, and a delicate program like coaching or mentorship, it cannot be successful with the without commitment from the top level. So another thing is we have to ensure that we have the required budget. Because when we take people through the mentorship program, definitely there will be discussion about their development needs, and for addressing those needs, we need to take them through different tools, like it can be e-learning, it can be short course or long course, and it can be even practical experience through different projects. So there has to be some certain budgets before we launch the program. And one of the most important things is to ensure that the assigned mentor and the protege, both of them have equal commitment to participate in this program. Other than that, this program will not be successful. Also, the program must be taken as a continuous process. it's not a short-term program. It has to be a long-term continuous process, so that we can actually address the career development needs and the other behavioral development needs of the proteges. And finally, we have a built-in process of periodic evaluation to ensure that this intervention is impactful. If we have to do any course correction, we can do in the middle of the process, but we have to evaluate it, and rather than just launching it and forgetting about it, we don't do that usually. In summary, we can take mentorship as a long-term program, number one. Number two is we have a well-defined step-by-step process throughout the program. And this is very important, although we talk about informal mentorship program, but it's actually, it has to follow the trial and error and check and balance things. Then we include our talents at different levels in the program, although the method or the duration of the entire program can be different at different levels. Finally, before launching any program, I would like to re-emphasize this one, is that we have to have proper commitment from the top level to invest their time, resources, and energy. Only then this mentorship program can be successful in the organization. And we are actually following these processes, and we have been successfully implementing it in our organization. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mohsin, for sharing your company's practices. Thank you for that. And of course, this is why Coca-Cola, for more than 150 years, they are leading the soft drinks market in the world. And one thing that I would like to mention in the area of coaching, it started with a very informal fashion, but nowadays from International Coaching Federation worldwide, who regulates these practices, so they have now furnished it a lot. A coach, an ICF certified coach, it guarantees that this person has a certain amount of classroom training, practices minimum. Like if you would like to become an ACC, Associate Certified Coach, you have to practice at least 100 hours of coaching practices. Then you also must have 65 hours of classroom training. In addition to this, there are lots of assignments, self-reflections, etc. So those who are actually ICF accredited coach, they guarantee this, ICF guarantees this, that these people are really meant for coaches. So I hope in near future, these things will come in forefront and we will understand the sustainability of a coach here also. Thank you, Mohsin Bhai. So I will not take much time. Now, at this point, I would like to request, we have among us Mr. Rashidul Alam. So Rashid Bhai, if you please share your views and your organizational strategy for career development, coaching, etc. Thank you.
Thank you, Salim Bhai. And thank you for the question. And thank you, Enroad, for arranging such program. It's an international program. I feel very good that you invited me, and I have been sharing screen with you, all of you. I have been trained by Tashwin Bhai once in IBA. So I'm feeling very good. Okay. So, and I'm representing Meghna Bank. It's a very cut-short industry, not known for this coaching and this type of stuff. And it's an organization of only 8 years. We got licensed in 2013, and this is only 2021. It's not 8 years even. In this, yes, 8.5 years. So how we see coaching? So first of all, we are in a situation that we are trying to establish ourselves in the banking industry. So, and we are in a situation where country is in rapid economic growth. So disruption is everywhere. And we are trying to build ourselves as a fintech. So rather than establishing ourselves in a traditional banking industry, this is already eaten by all the big giants. So we are trying to establish ourselves rather a technology company. And when we try to find out people in this country, last 15 years, so much economic development have been done in this country, you'll not find that much resources around. And fintech is a new thing, so not that much resources are available. So we're trying to build a transformation team in this organization. And we are recruiting people who are not that much skilled, but who have potential. So we are recruiting people with potential, with attitude, not with super skill. And as well as it is running in last 6 years as a
Rashanti, you are on mute.
sorry. So it's been running as a traditional bank for last 6 or 7 years. So we need to do some change management thing with the existing people also. And so two things are happening. We are recruiting new people and who have potential, and we have old people who need change management. Third, we are finding there are some good people. We are promoting them. We are giving them scope projects, but we need to handhold them. You know, Vivek was telling that leadership transition things are also happening in the organization. So we're making some people management, give a scope of people management, and they struggle there. So we are handling these three things in our people management role. So, and how we are using coaching to handle those issues. First of all, we are building a transformation team, and my MD is Mr. Solar Hussain. He was involved in 2 transformation of bank. One is Eastern Bank. He's from Greenless. So he was involved in transformation of Eastern Bank, and another one is Citibank. So he has the experience. So every month we have a Mancom meeting, and every on and off we are sitting together. He is, we are trying for things that is not happening, and people are getting frustrations. So what will happen? So there are business pressure, there are government regulation pressure. So he sit with us every alternate day, every week, and every month, and tells that this is how we do transformation, and things will not go this way always, and sit with individual every 1 week. So, and we are giving a message to market. If you look into our LinkedIn page and our Facebook page, that we are giving our message to people that is a transformation team. And if you are confident enough, you can come to us, you can join us. And the MD has taken the responsibility of coaching these people and building this team. And the change management thing, you know, when these type of things are happening, so another thing happens, that is people in the organization, they are in vulnerable situation. They think new people are coming, so what about me? My skills are not matching with company strategy, so what will happen to me? So this is my job, HR. We do a program like Coffee with CEO. We invite these people. We tell them that this is happening in the organization, and I sit one-to-one with them. I know and try to understand what is their problem, and try to give them a solution. And we are telling them again and again that with this organization will transform, and you are relevant in this organization, will make relevant you in this organization. And the third thing we're doing, that we are giving, bringing new people in the people management role who has been in the organization for a few years. So at that time, we are giving them how to manage team. We have money that is been done by our high performer branch managers and high performing senior leaders. So we have a senior leader called, we call him Harun Bhai. He is the manager of Dhanmondi branch. So when we give someone a branch manager, I will attach him for 1 week to under this senior branch manager. So they guide them how he deal customer, how he talk with people, how he deal his team. So these things are managed by this way. And when we someone give a new project, we set them with our head of IT, Mr. Shamalda. So Shamalda has experience of transforming IT department of Mutual Trust Bank and Bragg Bank. So he knows how to do this type of things. So this 3 way, we are managing our people, we are developing our people, building a transforming team, bringing people outside the organization, and managing people within the organization. So this is what we are doing. I'm sorry, we don't have a coaching culture like Coca-Cola has, maybe like Reckitt Benckiser has, but we are trying to build a culture in this organization. That is my job. My MD has given me, that change the culture and make the culture of this organization. This is what I want, all I have. Thank you, Salim.
Thank you, Rashid Islam Bhai and Rashid Alam Bhai. And of course, we hope that very soon your bank will come with this vision and they will achieve their goal with the help of this expert and of course your expertise also. So right at this moment, I would like to request, we have Masuma Parveen from academia. So she is an academician and teaching psychology at Bangabandhu University. So I'd like to request Ms. Masuma Parveen to share his view and especially focus on what are the actually academic programs that are going on in regarding coaching and mentoring in Bangladesh. So Ms. Masuma Parveen, please.
Thank you. I hope that I am audible to all of you. At first, I would like to thank the organizer for inviting me in this session as a panelist. Actually, in academia, it's less practice compared to the organizational perspective. But nowadays, universities and higher educational institutions are increasingly recognizing the value of coaching and mentoring for professional and organizational development, as it creates the opportunity to broaden the knowledge, skills, and capacities of any individual, especially for academicians or students' perspective. From today's discussion and from the presentation of Mr. Vivek, it's clear to me that we have lackings in academic sector, in mentoring especially. And we practiced it, but not that way the organization actually do. Okay, and we have limited scope to for mentoring and coaching facilities in academia, and I think that there is no ending of learning. And from today's discussion and presentation, I have learned a lot of things about coaching and mentoring. We act in academic sector, we act as a mentor also. We guide the student and sometimes in our colleagues, but not in a formal way. Informally, we do this. And but I hope that in near future, we'll be able to establish in a more organized way. And for that, several times we faces many difficulties in academic sector, that as we have no mentor. And in my perspective, at our times, there was we are not familiar with the term about mentorship or mentee also. But nowadays it's very common, and in the organizational sector or in job perspective, it's more common to us. But the good news is that at the present situation, some projects like IQAC and Center for Excellence and Bangladesh Accreditation Council are more concerned about these things, like mentoring and coaching and training perspective and counseling also. As a psychologist also, we provide counseling service to our students and other fellow mates or colleagues also, but not in a formal way. And already someone told that the budget is a very important issue in mentoring and coaching work. But some specialized department in academia, they are already started this for mentoring and coaching, like coaching. For example, in a clinical or industrial organizational department, they have a program like CPD, continuous professional development. They have weekly or monthly program to for their students, colleagues, and they act as a mentor also. So I think in the present situation, Bangladesh Accreditation Council has already taken some steps for to improve the academic sector with the goal of enhancing academic career and professional development for building professionally competent individuals for the workforce to achieve the university's goals and aspirations. So I think in the near future, we'll get more information from this project, and they arrange these types of program, and it will be, I hope that we'll able to achieve these goals in the near future. And thank you for.
Thank you.
I have talked about my perspectives. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Massimo Parveen. And in addition to this, I would like to add, as I am also with the academia, so I'd like to add that IBA has already started a program on executive coaching and mentorship. On that, they have a very specific part on executive coaching, shared leadership, etc. So I had my personal talk with the coordinator of IBA, director of IBA also. So they are introducing this program. And you all know that in psychology department, we have a very applied branch on industrial organizational psychology. This conference that we are doing in association with IO Psychology, Industrial Organizational Psychology, and Inwood Center for Development. So in industrial organizational psychology, we already included this executive coaching and mentoring program in our syllabus. So from next year, we are going to offer this course for our students, and we are trying to build some practical training on these also. And in addition to this, there are some practices like we are trying to develop an ICF chapter Bangladesh, which is International Coaching Federation chapter of Bangladesh. Currently in Bangladesh, there are 2 ICF accredited coach, ACC that we called, Associate Certified Coach. And in addition to this, like the MD of en route, he personally has a master's degree on coaching from France, so far I know. So we are trying from academic perspective, and from today we also had with us a Billion Group. They are also trying to build a team of coaches and mentees, and they're taking trainings from different experts also. So things are going on, and we are very much hopeful that in near future, this can be a very good service angle for Bangladesh also. So I will not take much time right at this moment. I would like to go to our esteemed guest, Sheikh Tashfeen Islam. So Tashfeen bhai, if you please share your views, and the question is already with you, so far I know. So please, if you enlighten us on this coaching and mentoring.
Thank you, Salim bhai. Thank you to Enroute for inviting me, and thank you to Mr. Vivek Yatlankar for a great presentation. Really enjoyed going through it. I am not actually in Bangladesh. I have been based out of United Kingdom for the last about 10 years. And I come from a slightly different perspective because I work for a development organization called Worldwide Fund for Nature Conservation. So our goal is very wide. We're trying to save the planet. We're trying to reduce the negative effects of climate change. And as a result, our coaching and mentoring programs are slightly different as well. So I will basically split my answer into like 3 parts. So number 1 is that when do we apply coaching programs with our colleagues? So Mr. Vivek has mentioned the 5 areas, which is when someone goes through role transition and when someone is basically having individual development plan and etc. We have brought in also coaching on increasing the well-being of our colleagues as well. I'll give you a small example, which will probably narrate how we do that. So in Western Europe, maternity leaves are for 1 year, fully paid. And so when a new mom comes back after spending 1 year with her child and is joining the workplace, things can change massively over a year's time. So we have introduced a program of appointing coaches for them. And most of this time, these coaches are internal colleagues who have been moms, who have come back to work, say like 2 years or 3 years back. So they know how the reality of the whole lifestyle is. And we have trained these colleagues to basically become coaches for our new moms coming back in, which we have found out is a massive help for colleagues who are just coming back from maternity leave and in terms of transitioning to the world of work after a 1 year sabbatical or hiatus from the work as well. Number two is how do we engage our colleagues as coaches? So we have two groups here. We have got internal colleagues who we have trained to be coaches as well. And they are basically being trained to be coaches to our internal colleagues as well. Plus, we have a group of about 10 external experts as a part of our coaching panel. So we engage them whenever we have A, run out of capacity, or B, we are facing an issue or a situation where our internal colleagues don't have the expertise to help them. So they are then come in and play there. The third engagement that we have is how do we apply it, or which model do we use? So the most standard model we use is the GROW model, which I'm sure, Mr. Vivek, I can see that you're nodding. So it's basically focusing on goals, reality, options, and will. I have seen different iteration of wills now. It can be will, it can be way forward, it can be how do you wrap up. And we continuously recycle and use the GROW model in terms of doing that. So if anyone here is interested to know about it, please Google it. It's widely available in terms of the informations here. We have also used sometimes the 5 Ws and 1 H model as well to try to understand and get to the root of the issues as well. The other thing that we do in terms of, to ensure that coaching is successful and impactful in Worldwide Fund for Nature is we do a post-coaching evaluation where we don't only ask the coach and coachee to rate their coaching experience, but after a little bit while the person who's been coached has basically been able to apply it in their workplace, we take them through a 360 evaluation to understand how their colleagues, their peers, their stakeholders are basically seeing the impact of this coaching. So it's a very specific 360 evaluation that we do. And that's how we find it out. We have seen coaching helps in terms of increasing the skill level, changing the fundamentals of underlying behaviors in terms of making the individual a greater leader. And with this new application, we have seen that it also improves their well-being and reduces the overall attrition, because attrition for us right after new moms coming back from maternity leave or burning out was a massive issue. And we think that, we have tried to help in terms of arresting that as well. So that's more or less how we apply coaching in our workplace.
Thank you, Tashwin Bhai. So thank you for sharing how you actually do, and definitely this will help us to grow our practices, to help grow our knowledges in this regard also. Right at this moment, I would actually like to go back to Vivek. So listening from all these, the current practices that we are doing now, I would like to request you to summarize and end this session.
Oh, super. So great listening to all panelists. I think good diverse views from academic, from Coca-Cola and the financial company, also from a government sector, and Tashwin Bhai from UK, the worldwide. I coincidentally am working with NGO in Pune, India as well, so I see that part. But I like the part what we are saying is working moms. I think that's a very new idea which is in my mind. Salim, coincidentally, I'm also a director program for the local Pune ICF chapter. Around 8 months ago, we ran a program saying coaching, democratization of coaching. I think that was the title. I think that line is coming to my mind. So it is not really, long ago, coaching and mentoring was for elites. But I think as you listen to the speaker, that one line is coming. It's for everybody. And I'm just going to go back to my favorite line. It's all about enhancing, expanding your personal and professional potential. Each one of us, today on the panelist or attending the call or whoever will watch the video, I think one fact is very sure. Nobody today can say what I could be tomorrow. I think both coaching and mentoring really untap everybody's potential. So who all are on the call, I think best wishes to do whatever one could be. I think that's coming to my mind. Thank you.
Thank you, Vivek, and thank you, our distinguished panelists and the attendees who are with us. And lastly, I would like to especially thank Daraj Bangladesh, who who are supporting this conference throughout this 3-day. And I especially thank Enroute International Limited, as well as Psychology Department of Dhaka University, and all you have joined with us. So with this note, I would like to invite those who you are in Dhaka, you can join with us our last concluding and award giving ceremony, which is going to be held at Hotel Six Seasons, Gulshan 2 from 6 p.m. So at this point, I would like to say goodbye and see you on another platform very soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Thank you, panelists.
Thanks, everybody.
Great interacting with you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks,
Take care.
Vivek. Take care.